Hey, and welcome back to the What If Universe. So, we need to describe something real quick. So, this is part of Teebry's video. You can go check that out real quick. I'll put a link down there in the pinned comment section and in the description so that way you can go watch that first. Because honestly, it's a lot more condensed, actually edited, and actually looks a bit more nice, personally, honestly. Anyways, he is here with me right now. He can introduce
What's up?
himself for this section of the video.
Yeah, I'm Teebry. I make Naruto, Boruto anime content. Come on over.
Yeah, so stop what you're doing right now, go watch that first, but if you want to listen to us actually just ramble and go through the process of that video, you can listen to the first half of this, and for the second half, we're going to get into discussing two of our changes, but going a little bit more in depth, because honestly, we have more to talk about, so with that out of the way, here's the first part.
Is that good?
Yes.
It's good.
Yeah, it's
seconds? Good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we're recording now. I mean, we don't need to. Obviously, I can cut whatever out. But I have not done an intro yet, so I'm just going to do an intro here with you.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Because I didn't record anything. But yeah, I guess what I'll do is I'll do the intro, and then we'll just go back and forth with our ideas and just, I don't know, chill discussions about it. Nothing too robotic or anything. We're just gonna be talking about our ideas until we're done.
I mean,
Sound good?
I'll probably just record my own intro and just be like, hey, this is the full audio of what we discussed and whatever didn't make it in the video.
Yeah.
That's basically all it's gonna be.
Yeah, that works. Okay. Hold on, I just gotta position my phone here so I can see it. All right, ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, what is up, you guys? So we have a bit of a different video here today. It's admittedly a bit experimental. I've come up with 5 story changes that I'd like to make to Naruto, or 5 things that I think would have been interesting, and I've asked Drew here to come up with 5 of his own. Did you want to introduce yourself, or?
Sure, I'll introduce myself here. So I'm Drew, I'm from What If Universe. Basically, what I like to do is do what if scenarios related to anime. And I thought to start things off with doing Naruto scenarios, like just thinking of basic changes, and that's why I was brought on to here with this project, and we're going to talk about some ideas we have.
Yeah, so I figured what better person to have come on and talk about hypothetical story changes than a what if YouTuber, right? Yeah, like I said, I've come up with 5. He's come up with 5. We're just going to take turns back and forth saying what our little mini story changes are, and we're just going to have a chill discussion about them. So, yeah, do you want to start, or should I start?
I guess I'll start. So one of my ideas that I thought of was bring back Naruto's mom as a reanimated ninja either during the war arc, or there is the possibility that Orochimaru, after he failed to bring back the fourth Hokage, could have thought of that and actually brought her back instead, potentially.
Okay, so yeah, I do like this idea because while we did get a little moment with Kushina when Naruto was training, I think it would have been very impactful to bring her back, and she wasn't a pushover either. Like, she was a strong ninja, so I don't know. I think there was a lot of missed opportunities when it came to who they could have brought back in the war. And I mean a lot of missed opportunities when it comes to who they did bring back even. But yeah, I definitely think that's a good idea. I think it would have been cool to see Kushina. I don't know who she would battle. Do you think she would battle Naruto, or?
I think that could have been a like very good possibility, considering the fact that
like it wouldn't be very impactful if Naruto wasn't there, I guess.
Well,
right?
It could have worked very well because Kabuto could have realized at first, it's like, hey, we never brought back this person yet, and they're not sealed. Why don't we just bring them back?
That's true. Wait, were they? She wasn't sealed in.
I feel like by that point, though, even if she was still inside Naruto, she would have been freed by that point in time. Like, she would have returned.
Yeah, I can't actually remember the specifics of Kushina's, like, I really don't
believe
remember.
the
Like, she was
seal.
sealed in Naruto.
I believe how
or-
the seal worked was part of her chakra was brought into there by the fourth
She wasn't
Hokage.
in the Reaper Death Seal, right?
No, she wasn't in the Reaper Death Seal, so she could have been brought back.
Okay, yeah, I really, for some reason, I can't remember any of the specifics around Kushina, but yeah, I do think it would have been cool to see, and just to see her in combat as well, just because, like, I feel like we didn't really get to see her as a fighter, more as just, like, a mother.
Yeah, I feel like it's a
It would've been
very
cool to see-
highly missed opportunity.
Because she was a Jinchuriki, so
Yeah.
she should have been a pretty skilled fighter. But yeah, I think, okay, that's cool. All right, so for my first one, and this is a very obscure one. I don't know how well you remember Dosu, or how well people in the audience remember Dosu, but Dosu was a character in the Chunin exams. He was part of the 3 sound ninja that Orochimaru sent to the Chunin exams. My favorite one. He's like the leader of the team with the big sound thing on his arm, and I always thought it would have been really cool. He's one of my favorite, like, wasted potential type characters. I think it would have been really cool if Dosu had survived the Chunin exams, and later in Shippuden we find out that he is a member of the Akatsuki. And the way I see this going down would be that because we know that they knew that Orochimaru was just using them. Orochimaru used them for the reanimation. And there was a little thing about how Orochimaru was, like, he was just using these three kids, and they kind of made a little bit of a deal of it, but there was a lot going on in that arc. I think it would have been cool if Dosu had survived the fight with Gaara. He went to attack Gaara, and Gaara just, like, bodied him. I think it would have been cool if he survived, decided to abandon Orochimaru after realizing that he's been used, and then later on is recruited by the Akatsuki, where he has significantly honed his sound jutsu, and he's like an Akatsuki level sound ninja. I think that would have been really, really cool. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that is a good idea. I do think he was underutilized. I kind of wish that he did try to at least get vengeance instead of just being bodied by Gaara, and that was it.
Yeah.
At least I would feel like he tried.
It's kind of hard to fight Gaara, but...
Like, even though Orochimaru would be a big issue to fight, I feel like it'd be like, you know what?
Right.
Dosu has chance. He at least tried to take him out.
Yeah, it would have been... Yeah, I think it would have been cool to see Dosu's abilities expanded upon, and seeing, like, what an adult Dosu could look like. Because we've seen the kid Dosu was already pretty impressive. He was one of the more powerful Chunin exams participants. So it would have been really cool to see a fully grown, fully trained up adult Dosu with an Akatsuki cloak would be able to accomplish. I think it would have been really interesting callback to the Chunin exams. So yeah, what's your next one?
So my next one is it's not as impactful as people think it is, but there's a lot of air connectivity with the plot that could actually be useful. My idea was Hinata unlocking the Sharingan after Neji dies, essentially.
Yeah. See, I like this. So, some people won't like this, but I like this because we all know that the Byakugan and the Sharingan are obviously linked through the Otsutsuki clan, and I'm thinking that Hinata, even in Boruto, she's just kind of become a housewife. She hasn't done much, and I think that it would have been cool to see Hinata unlock something more than the Byakugan. Even if it wasn't the Sharingan, if it was just like the next level of the Byakugan that we didn't know existed. But I do think it would have been really, really interesting if suddenly there was this big reveal that yes, the Byakugan can turn into the Sharingan under the right circumstances.
Well, I guess with the more story-focused scenes, we know that later on, by that point after it's done, Sage of Six Paths would actually explain what occurred, and that Naruto would be like, oh yeah,
Right.
that happened. But you'd also have Sasuke be way more interested in the Hyuga clan now. It's like, wait a second.
Sasuke's like, yeah, the Hyuga clan can become the new Uchiha clan.
And that would definitely change a lot of motives. That would honestly make this more into a what-if scenario, but which I'm not going to go into for this. But I would say that there's a lot of potential there for Sasuke's character to change heavily due to that one event.
It would be interesting, to say the least.
He would definitely question things.
Yeah, it would. It might make things more complicated than than it's worth, but definitely would be an interesting change to the story if suddenly all the Hyuga clan members are able to unlock the Sharingan if they try hard enough.
Actually, didn't you have a scenario relating to Neji you want to talk about?
Yeah. So it's not my next one, but I'll actually just make it my next one. So my next one would be that Neji survives. I know that we all have wanted Neji to survive the war. Neji survives the war, and he gets stronger and becomes the Hokage after Naruto dies or gets nerfed or whatever happens in Boruto, right? I just think that after Naruto and Sasuke, it would have been cool to see Neji as like the third strongest, and to see if anyone was going to unlock more with the Byakugan, if anyone was going to advance the Hyuga's jutsu, it would be Neji, because he was a prodigy from a young age. Everyone knew that, right? So I think it would be cool to see how strong Neji could get. And of course it would be awesome to see Neji as like the 8th Hokage or something like that. I feel like he deserved better. One thing I think that he could have done, they could have written it so that Neji unlocked like the Tensagon, because it's been said before that like the Tensagon is the Renegon of the Byakugan. Like, so Sharingan's final form is pretty much the Renegon.
Basically, yeah.
But the Byakugan, when mixed with Otsutsuki blood or something like that, Otsutsuki DNA, I can't remember what the specifics was. It was in the Naruto the last movie. But it could turn into the Tensagon. So I think it would be cool that if Neji somehow unlocked the Tensagon, I feel like he would, if anyone was going to do something crazy like that, it would be him. So yeah, I would just like to see more out of Neji. Specifically to just survive, man.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, anything to add to that one? I know I pretty much said like everything, I think.
Honestly, I don't have too much to add with that one. There's not too much. I honestly agree with that change. Honestly.
You like
no.
Neji?
Which is funny.
You don't like
no,
Neji?
No, I think he served his purpose when he died, actually.
I mean, whether he served his purpose or not, I guess. But like, do you like him as a character?
Well, I like him as a character, but I feel like him surviving past that point doesn't add too much, in my opinion, personally.
I guess.
Like, unless he unlocks something,
not.
like you said, to make him more relevant, he really reached the point where he kind of plateaued.
I would just like Neji to be like the third of the three. I know people want Sakura to be that, but I would, or debatably she is, but I would just like to see like Naruto, Sasuke, and Neji just be like these three like god level shinobi. I think it would have been cool to see someone else kind of reach Sasuke and Naruto's level, or at least come close. I think it would have been really cool. Especially someone such as Neji, who's known to be a prodigy.
I mean, the next person we're about to talk about, I would say arguably got around that range.
All right, so who's that? What's your next plot point change?
So my next plot point change would be Obito using Rene rebirths on everybody who died in the war arc. And yes, that would include Neji, unfortunately, even though he was his purpose. But the funny thing is, I feel like Obito, when he realizes he's weaving those signs, he could have took advantage of that and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna save everybody else and screw over you.
Except for Neji.
Well, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not that mean, I guess.
I don't know, because I'm always of the opinion that I don't really like that Pain used it and revived everybody, because I don't know, I feel like it lessens the impact in a way. But it would be interesting to see, I think, if he decided to use the Rene Rebirth in a way to like redeem himself, which would be his big redeeming moment, and like revive anyone who died in the war like recently.
Well, I feel like that's
as a way to like atone for his
well,
sins.
yeah, it's 100% possible because he realized that he's weaving the signs, and it's like, it's either Madara's coming back or I could try to save everybody else, and that could have been his mindset.
Right.
It's like, you know what?
But then I think we talked about this before.
Oh
right?
wait, yeah, we talked
then
about this would mess up
the whole thing with the rest of it. Yeah, because then where does Kakashi get his other Sharingan to help out?
Yeah, this is basically the show would just end with Kaguya
I would like to see
just wrecking everybody though if this happens.
He revives everyone just for them all to die again.
Which is funny to think about. Like, he redeemed himself.
I would like to see how. Yeah, I would like to see how the final little arc or little scenes go without Obito there, because he did play an important role. So I would like to see how, if Kishimoto decided to kill him off before that, how they would go about finishing the series without him there in the final little battle.
Well, I definitely think this would be a very fun what if to do, because then you have to solve this problem. It's like, what do they do?
You gotta do it yourself, yeah.
When she comes back.
Okay, so where was I? I skipped ahead. All right, so my other one also involves Neji. Very quick one to talk about. And that is that I would have liked to see Neji versus Sasuke in the Chunin exams. Now, I don't want to get into a power scaling discussion about who would win or whatever. It's not important to me. What's important is that the two prodigies from the two strongest clans in the Leaf that have special eye techniques go head to head in the Chunin exams. I feel like, does that not feel like such a huge missed opportunity to you? Like, that seems such an obvious matchup that they just didn't do.
Well, even Hinata versus Sasuke would have been a fun match to see even.
Yeah, I don't like. It's like there was the one scene in the Chunin exams when Sasuke meets Rock Lee, Gaara, or first he meets Gaara outside, but he meets Rock Lee and Neji around the same time. And then Sasuke's thinking to himself all the people he has to overcome, and it shows in his mind. It shows Gaara, it shows Rock Lee, and it shows Neji. And that was kind of the end of that. He did have a thing with Gaara. He fought Gaara. He watched Rock Lee and he copied his jutsu. There was just really nothing with Neji beyond that little first scene, which kind of I don't know. It's disappointing. It just seems disappointing that the two prodigy dojutsu users never went head to head. Regardless of who would have won, I just think it would have been a really intense battle, really cool. I'd rather Sasuke fight Neji in the final round, right? And then Naruto against Gaara, and then that's when shit starts going down with Orochimaru and Gaara goes crazy. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it would have been a better matchup than Neji versus Naruto, even though Naruto kind of had the whole, like, he has to prove Neji wrong about with Hinata and stuff like that, but still, I just feel like it would have been a good fight. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that.
But like I said, there isn't really much else to talk about other than, hey, I wish that would have happened. So what's your next one?
All right, so my next one it seemed like a simple change at first, but it actually will add up technically, which we're not going to go super in depth with it. But my idea was Sakura being a Senju instead of a Haruno, because number one, we have no idea what the Haruno clan does at all. They have no significance at all.
I'm fully behind this idea.
And also, her being a Senju adds so much context later on when we learn the relationship between Uchiha and Senju. It really messes things up.
So much symbolism there, especially with their relationship. Like, Sasuke and, like, obviously Naruto was kind of like the descendant, like the Uzumaki are the descendants of the Senju, and he was the reincarnation. But like, Sakura and Sasuke coming together, they would represent the coming together of the two clans, even though Naruto and Sasuke kind of do already. But Sasuke, or if she was a Senju, it would have been like on a way more literal level, which I think would have been crazy.
Well, you could.
Plus, not to mention, it probably would have made her stronger.
Oh yeah, for sure, she'd be stronger. She'll Senju. But the big thing that I think about
Senju blood, yeah,
is that you could have a conflict potentially with her parents saying that we don't want you to hang out with Sasuke, and they explain why that he's Uchiha.
True, there could have been a whole thing.
That could have been like its own like arc in early Naruto, and they would be the ones trying to overcome that.
I like that idea actually. I always like the whole like inter-clan like rivalry and like clan like politics and stuff like that. I always think that that's been very interesting in the Naruto universe. So I think that definitely having Sakura as a Senju with her liking Sasuke could have like a, like you said, there could be a whole thing with her parents disapproving and stuff.
Well,
yeah, I really.
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
You could have like Sakura's parents like, oh, Naruto seems a lot better. Obviously, he is part of the Senju clan.
Right, Uzumaki. Yeah,
it's like he would be a way better fit.
Yeah, that is cool.
It's like, what?
That is cool.
Naruto? Why would I want to be with him?
Not to mention, then she would be like getting trained by like her grandmother or like her aunt or whoever Tsunade ends up being related to her. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because that also adds another useful plot point I see in this fact. Oh, it's like,
yeah.
It's like, wait,
I'm actually surprised she's not a Senju now that we think about it. There's a lot of value in that.
It's almost like this should be a what if video.
Coming soon.
Yeah, eventually once I get to it.
All right, so my next one is another kind of obscure one, and I actually just talked about this. I filmed a video with Shonen Central today, talking about the difference, or talking about the changes of Naruto characters from Naruto to Boruto. We were like we were rating them, doing a tier list, and I didn't really like that Shino became a teacher. I wasn't really a fan of that. I wanted Shino. I've always wanted Shino to be a member of the Anbu. And so what I think would have been really cool in Shippuden is if Shino was convinced to join the Foundation, or to join Danzo and the Foundation. Just because I think they could have swung it in a way that Shino, we know they kind of did a thing where he keeps getting left out of things. And I know it was kind of a gag. It was like a joke that he wasn't invited to a lot of stuff. But like maybe they could have swung that in a way like that Shino didn't feel like he belonged with like the rest of the Leaf 11. And maybe he ended up joining the Anbu or joining Danzo and like going down like a bad path until later he obviously probably redeems himself in some way in the war. Don't know the specifics, but I just think that Shino as a character, his abilities, his personality, everything fits the Anbu so much better. And we know that it works because Danzo originally wanted Shino. I don't know if you remember this, but Danzo originally wanted Shino to be in the Foundation, but Torane offered himself instead, Shino's cousin. And he was the guy with the poison bugs.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, so Shino was already invited to be in the Foundation. All it would have taken is him to go to Danzo and be like, "Yo, I'm ready. I'm in." And I think that could have been a really cool arc for Shino. It would have made Shino possibly a more relevant character and a more interesting character in terms of how much the fans like him. Because I love him, but I think he definitely had more potential there.
You know.
Any thoughts on that?
So you know what? At the end of, at the start of Shippuden, everyone's like, where'd Shino go? And then he shows up later. It's like, boom. It's like, what's up, guys? I joined the Akatsuki. You abandoned me, so I abandon you.
The Akatsuki. Oh,
and I'm going to swarm you with my bugs and eat you alive.
Akatsuki Shino. Man, it would have been cool, I think, to see anyone from, like, part 1 join the Akatsuki. Like, I don't know, like, I just feel
technically Sasuke did. By a technicality.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Even though he wasn't part of the Akatsuki, but was a technicality.
I don't know. I think it would have been cool to see, like, just a twist, like a big shocker, like, where is Shino? Oh, he's a bad guy now. Surprise.
Well, Shino could have been a spy this whole time, and nobody would suspect it.
True. True, and he would have made a damn good spy as well. Which is why, another reason why I think he should have been in the goddamn Anbu. His abilities are so Anbu.
Well, yeah, it's one of those two he would have fitted perfectly, but they're like, you know what? He just is gonna be the guy who's made fun of for not being invited to things. That's his gimmick.
Yeah, for real. Wasted potential. Shino Aburame, people. I'm saying it right here. All right. So how many do we have left? You got one left, and I got one left.
We each have one left at this point.
All right. Well, what is your last one?
So my last one, this is gonna happen
at
the very end of Naruto. Kakashi decides to give his gift, and he surprises Naruto by doing the tuning exams with all the guys that he can gather up for this.
So Naruto's Bachelor. We'll put this as Naruto's Bachelor.
Yeah, that's what we'll call this.
It's a filler episode. It's Naruto's Bachelor Party, or maybe a filler arc.
I would say it's like a filler arc. I would say it'd take like 5 episodes or something.
Yeah. So this is Naruto and the gang redoing the tuning exams. Intoxicated. They gotta be drunk. They gotta have a little sake before.
Oh yeah, that's the idea, because Kakashi's like, you know what, we're all too smart now, so everybody just start drinking.
Yeah, everyone needs to be dumbed down.
Everyone needs to be down.
They can like invite.
And then he's like, wait, Naruto, you don't take anything. You're already there. All right, everybody else, let's start going.
Yeah. They invite all the proctors back. They invite Ibiki to do some sort of written exam. Invite Anko to do the Forest of Death. Give everybody the scrolls again. Honestly, jokes aside, though, I think this would have made for a very funny and very entertaining filler. One of the better fillers if they decided to redo the tuning exam. Just as a joke.
Orochimaru just show up. It's like, hey guys, surprise! I came out the snake instead of a cake. It's like, we didn't invite you. Orochimaru. It's like, oh, but I thought.
Well, it's funny because Orochimaru might have been able to be invited, considering the change of relationship in Boruto.
Well, he'd be like, you know what? I thought he was invited. He said you're redoing the tuning exams, and I was there.
Yeah, he's got to invite himself. Just show up in the same spot that he showed up last time. He's just wasted though, like falling out of his snake.
Yeah, he's like, I thought I was supposed to be here. It's like, no.
Honestly, missed opportunity for a funny filler arc. I will say that I do.
Well, the thing is, Orochimaru became a really funny gag character. It didn't do too much with him at the end, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I also was talking about Orochimaru with Shonen Central earlier as well, and what they did with his character. But that's a whole other topic.
I think it's a funny direction what they did. It's like, you know what, I'm just gonna do whatever I want and just be followed around by this one guy.
Yeah. Have you seen much of Boruto or any of Boruto?
I plan to get into it eventually. I know I have Attack on Titan I'm gonna catch up on, and I know Boruto's getting closer to the manga now, so I'll probably pick it up here soon. Yeah, I think you'll be interested to see what they've done with Orochimaru in Boruto. The thing is, like, I know a lot of people don't like Boruto. The thing is, I say it because it's a joke, because I never seen it. So it's really funny. It's like, why don't like Boruto? It's like, I never seen it. It's like, that doesn't make sense. It's like, I don't care.
It's Boruto's hit or miss. It's got its moments where it's good and its moments where it's bad, of course.
Yeah, I'm still gonna check it out.
But anyways,
regardless.
That's neither here nor there.
I'm gonna check it out regardless, because I'm a What If channel. I have to
out.
technically follow a timeline if I cover Naruto.
Right. Of course. All right, so here's the last one, and people are not going to like this. I know people aren't gonna like this. I would have wanted Sasuke to die at the end of the series. I would have wanted Sasuke to have some sort of redemption and then a tragic death. Why? Because I loved Sasuke's arc. I really like characters that go from good guy to bad guy and then maybe a small redemption and then die. I like this in Light Yagami, even though he didn't really have a redemption. And I like this in Anakin Skywalker. Who else? Arthas from World of Warcraft, if you're familiar. All of these characters are characters that are good guys, fallen heroes in the end. they either get a redemption or a small redemption and then they die. And I really wanted Sasuke to follow that path. And I think it would have been really impactful and a really sad moment if Sasuke somehow redeem. I don't know how he would redeem himself. Maybe by saving Naruto from something. Maybe this. I feel like the story would have to be changed drastically. Obviously, like this would be a whole what if story where like Madara was the final villain or something like that, and he like he was gonna kill Naruto and Sasuke stopped him somehow or something like that. I can't think of the details right now. But I just want Sasuke to have died after being redeemed. Just a quick redemption, nothing too big. Just like I saved you and I'm sorry and it's really sad and everyone's crying and he dies. And then Naruto carries on his will or his wanting to change the village when Naruto becomes Hokage, and they maybe erect a statue of Sasuke somewhere. Maybe he gets a stone face. I don't know. Something. I just wanted him to die. Not because I hate the character. He's my favorite character. Just because I just think it would have been really tragic and really like just a good way to end Sasuke's arc. Now I know a lot of people aren't gonna like that, but what do you think personally of Sasuke dying?
I would be okay with it, but I think it'd be interesting if both Naruto and Sasuke died at their last fight. That could have been very interesting if that's how it ended.
That would piss people off.
I understand that, but the thing is that
right.
if you want a point where Sasuke's
redeemed... Because Naruto's got to become the Hokage, right?
Exactly, but if you want a point where Sasuke's redeemed, that would have been the best point. And Naruto's just gone.
I think so, yeah.
Like, he doesn't become a Hokage, which would suck, but at the same time, it would give Sasuke a better ending.
It's weird because, like I said, the story would have to be changed, right? Because... obviously, we wouldn't want Naruto killing Sasuke, I don't think.
The thing is that they would both die. That's the point. It's a mutual blow.
True. Just like if I can't take you with, or if I can't save you, then I'm gonna die with you as your.
Well, even Naruto said that multiple times. With that could have led up to that potentially as a possible ending.
That is true.
The other option. Is that
I don't know, maybe I'm just like I've got a dark mind. I like tragic endings. I don't know why. I enjoy them.
Well, you have another option where the Shinoke clan could have been a far bigger threat and they could have invaded the Leaf Village. That is an option.
True.
The thing is that never happened, and it was just a very small arc that, in my opinion, was very disappointing.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I've always been of the opinion that like the series probably should have ended before they started doing all that other stuff.
I think
like have Naruto become the Kage and then just.
I think they were fun side stories. The thing is that one particular.
Well, it was a novel, so they were just trying to adapt the rest of the novel content, and I think that they were just trying to get out like whatever more money they could get out of the series and adapt whatever else they could get.
I guess so.
Which is why they made that.
The thing is that at the end where we see the guy pull down his glasses and he reveals he's one of them too, that could have been something, honestly, because you have Orochimaru, who has reanimation jutsu. He could have reanimated almost all of them and had a decent army. From what we saw. Like, imagine the scaling.
Just the problem is that Naruto is just too goddamn gaudy.
Well, that's
at the end of the series.
That's true, but at least it would have been an interesting, like, last stand, I guess, for Orochimaru if he actually wanted to go through with something.
True. If he was decided to remain the bad guy,
which he didn't do.
Unfortunate that he didn't. Yeah.
I'm saying that.
But anyways,
that would have been great.
Sasuke's death at the end of the series. All I'm saying. Could possibly be a more tragic way to end the series, but like I said, I like tragedy. I like tragedy in my anime. I don't know about you, but
I mean,
I like sad shit.
There's still technically Boruto. I'm sure there's an opening if he wants to be killed off. He could be.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm sure it'll happen eventually. He's come close. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We've said our 5. We've discussed our 5. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this was a kind of a fun little discussion, just to bring up some random story changes that could possibly have made things more interesting. If you guys have any of your own story changes, please put those down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and also whatever your thoughts are on the story changes that we've presented here. Now, Drew over on his channel is going to upload the full uncut version of this. I'm probably going to edit it down, but he's going to upload the whole thing, I guess, sort of like maybe like a podcast-ish type thing. So yeah, if you want to see the uncut version, I'm not sure how much I will cut out or how much will be different, but if you want to see that version, head on over to his channel. The link will be in the description. Also, go support him. He makes great what if videos. Not a lot of Naruto yet, right?
I mean, like I said,
you've got Dragon
like
Ball.
I said, this is.
You plan on doing Naruto?
Like I said, this is gonna be my first introduction to Naruto for people who are
perfect
fans of mine.
But either way, he's got other stuff. He's got My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball, all kinds of things. So if you like What If, head over to his channel, check it out, go support him. Link will be in the description. And yeah, you got any closing remarks?
Not too much here. If you want to, like I said, if you want to hear us discuss on these further, go ahead. But we come short, obviously, for videos. That way it's not super long. So I hope you all enjoyed.
All right, that's going to be it. Like, subscribe, all that good shit. Peace out, you guys.
All right, so Teebry, so we chose 2 different changes out of our 5 that we want to discuss more. So
yes,
I'm going to say what my 2 are, and then I'll have you say your 2, and then we'll figure out who's going to go first. So the 2 that I chose was Naruto's mom being reanimated, whether it was during the war arc or by Orochimaru when he failed to bring back the fourth Hokage, and the other one I had was Sakura being a Senju instead of Haruno. No, there's a lot of stuff that was cut out of your video, potentially, due to how long I went with that one. But what were your 2?
Right, Dosu survives the Chunin exams, joins the Akatsuki, and the second one was Shino joining the Foundation. So basically just 2 different people joining 2 different groups are mine.
Essentially, yes. And I guess I'll start with mine since the first one is kind of 2 different ones, so it'll be a bit longer. So with Naruto's mom being reanimated during the war arc, obviously there's only one way this would mostly go down. It'd be Kabuto most likely just bringing her back, thinking like, hey, I need some sort of distraction, potentially for Naruto.
Right.
To help out.
Especially for Naruto.
Yeah, to help out my boy Madara, you know, like, I totally trust this dude or whatever. It's like, he's the MVP here.
Because if you can break Naruto, if you can emotionally break Naruto, you might have a better chance at winning the war.
And I feel like this was a missed opportunity, at least for Kabuto, because if he was aware of Naruto's history a bit more, he could have done that. And the mystery that we have to think about is that I don't think we necessarily know where the body is, because with Orochimaru, he did find the Hokage's bodies because they're a lot easier to find, but we don't know about Kushina at all, actually. That's the mystery I'm thinking of.
See, I don't remember what happened. I don't know why I totally blank whenever it comes to Kushina. I know she died with Minato.
And you would assume they'd be buried together, but they're not, because that leads up to the other one. Like, Orochimaru could have just revived her if he realized that he couldn't bring back the fourth Hokage.
She died. She must be easy to. I can't picture her body being hard to get DNA from if Orochimaru was able to get, like you said, the first and second Hokage.
Well, considering that, like, unprotected they are, I feel like Naruto's mom would be far easier. It's like, oh, here's a gravesite. Just go dig it up here.
Mm-hmm. I just can't remember how, like, did she seal herself somewhere, or, like, was she...
Well, she did seal herself inside Naruto, but wasn't the Reaper Death seal.
But all of herself, or just, like, just like a part of herself, like a part of her chakra was sealed. I don't know if like
I believe it was just part of her chakra, at least as far as the dub goes, but I don't know if the sub or the manga is a lot different.
Yeah. As a Naruto YouTuber, I feel very ashamed that I don't remember any of this, but
maybe you should make a video on it one
let's
day.
just say
that might be funny.
For the sake of this little scenario, that she was able to be reincarnated no matter what the circumstances are, because I can't really remember the circumstances.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, that's probably a worthy video topic for you later. But anyways, we're going to say that for the sake of this, that it was possible. So you have her appear. Obviously, Naruto's like, wait, is that mom? It's like, yes, Naruto, but I'm not your mom. I am actually Kabuto in disguise. So
And it would be cool too, because like I said in the other one, she is a Jinchuriki, and we seen that when the Jinchuriki were revived, they still had Jinchuriki powers, you know,
which is definitely something to
if,
think about. It's like she would have been useful.
I don't know if you had to die. Do you have to die with the Jinchuriki or with the Biju in you to still have it? Because Minato sealed part of Kurama in him, and that's why he had it when he was revived. And I don't know about like when Obito was using the 6 paths as the Jinchuriki, and they still all had their Jinchuriki powers, but I don't know if that's because he already had captured the Jinchuriki and the Biju at that point. I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, honestly, there's so many possibilities because it's never explored what happens if a Jinchuriki doesn't have one and is revived in that manner.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because like usually you would expect them to be revived at their fullest, at their best, at their highest potential, and that would be if they had a tailed beast. But I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing.
And I guess with Orochimaru's, obviously it wouldn't be perfected, so that one I think would be a lot easier to view how that would have gone down.
True.
And the thing is that you bring up the questions like, it's a lot more tricky to think, would he or would he not do that, obviously, versus the other scenario. But I do think he at least considered the fact that, one, she was a relatively powerful shinobi for what she was. And potentially, with sealing, that could have been useful if he knew more about it, which the thing is we don't know enough, honestly, because we do know he can undo the Reaper Death Seal, technically. At least know how to revive,
right.
But we don't know if he knows any other sealing-related jutsus.
Yeah.
What?
I would assume...
I assume yes, though.
I would assume that he does.
That's the issue. Like, that's what I think about why he didn't do it. It's like, that's all... It's either that her body was unrecoverable somehow, which I don't buy that. She wasn't, like, turned to dust.
Yeah, either that, or, I don't know, maybe, because like I said, I don't know the specifics of her death. I can't remember if she just straight up died, or, like, if she did something with her body before she died. I just can't remember.
Well, that's the issue, because we know that
blanking.
Even though she did put some chakra into Naruto, we don't know the extent of it.
Right, but like, even if she sealed her chakra into Naruto, would that not make her reanimatable? You know? I feel like she could still be reanimated just with her DNA. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's mainly the questions we are wanting to think about, because the fact is that when talking about the video itself, I actually didn't think about the possibility, could it even be possible? That's honestly something probably worth for Teebry or wait. It's Teebry. I don't know. I would say that could be a worthwhile video, just being like, could she been revived, and if so, what manner would have that been potentially? But that honestly needs more research.
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch some things and look into it. I really don't remember the circumstances of her death. I just know that she died with Minato, impaled by the by the Nine Tails, and Minato sealed. He used the Reaper Death Seal, but not on her. I don't think.
I don't think
she
so.
was
I think
sealed.
he only used it on the Jinchuriki-ish
Yeah.
in Naruto.
Right. Him and part of the Nine Tails.
It's just a very fun thing to speculate as well. That's what makes it more interesting to me as a video topic, but I thought it'd be fun for this half to talk about why we didn't go as
Yeah.
in depth, because obviously both of us would have had to research more to talk about technicalities with that one.
Right. Right.
I guess you can go to your
Steve, it actually could.
other scenario you want to extend us upon, enlighten us.
All right. So Dosu surviving the Chunin exams. I guess I don't need to say everything about it because we already talked about it earlier in this video. But
Well, in your video, obviously.
right, but you would have had the uncut version earlier.
That is true. That is true, but maybe people weren't paying attention. They might want to learn more about what would have happened
Okay,
in
so
Shippuden.
Dosu survives the Chunin exams. He survives his encounter with Gaara when he decides that he wants to go kill Gaara. Gaara messes him up, but he survives and he crawls away with his life, I'm thinking. And it's at that point when he realizes Orochimaru, I would say, doesn't come for him. He doesn't help him. He doesn't show up. He realizes that he's alone and that Orochimaru used him. And he uses this anger. With this anger, he ends up he heals from his wounds. Obviously, he gets stronger. He ends up being recruited, a rogue ninja being recruited by the Akatsuki, and this would be cool. Not only story wise, but also design wise, because he would look so cool as an Akatsuki member with like his bandages all over his face, and then like one of his like sleeves for his robes could be like ripped with like his big sound arm thing coming out of it. And then yeah, obviously he'd be taller, and he would have the crossed out sound ninja headband, which is not something that we've seen. And so he would join the Akatsuki. I'm not really sure what his motives would be for joining the Akatsuki, other than that they came to him and recruited him.
Well, I think if he
It
learned
could be
that
that-
Orochimaru used to be a part of the Akatsuki and banned them, he probably would be more on board. It's like, hey, I'll stay with you guys.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's that he wants revenge on Orochimaru for using him and his friends, for using Keenan Zaku and killing Keenan Zaku as well. So maybe he wants revenge on Orochimaru, and joining the Akatsuki he thinks is like the best way to track him down, because as we know, Orochimaru is not an easy person to find. So maybe, yeah, I could see that happening. I just think it would be really cool just to see a stronger Dosu with. There's not really a lot of sound techniques in Naruto after the Chunin exams, and after that, after the whole thing with Orochimaru and the Sound 4 and the Chunin exams, everything is all done. We don't really see anybody who has like sound abilities, and I think if he came into Shippuden all glowed up, you know, got his new Akatsuki fit, new abilities, like different, maybe he's been working on his sound arm and his other equipment and stuff like that, and maybe he's actually become like a very formidable Akatsuki level opponent. I think it would have been really cool to see. I just think he had a lot of potential as a character in that sense.
Well, I think it could have been very interesting that the idea is that he would maybe declare as like, I want to be the Kage of my village, because obvious Orochimaru just developed out of nothing. Like, it doesn't belong to him.
True. So he's like, not only am I going to get, because he would have realized that Orochimaru, all he does is use all of the kids that he recruits and treats them terribly. So maybe his whole goal, Dosu's whole storyline, is not only to get revenge on Orochimaru, but then also to reform the Sound Village and become the new Kage of the Sound Village. That would be really cool.
Because you have the motivation there. It's like he realizes that everyone's just being used. It's like, why don't I just save everybody from this horrible nightmare?
Easy motive to come up with after being abandoned by Orochimaru and having his two friends killed. There's definitely story potential there. 100%.
Now the question is, once we get more towards Shippuden, do you think he would be able to accomplish his goal, or you think once he finds out that Orochimaru's gone, that he doesn't know what to do anymore?
I can definitely see him dying before maybe I thought of something cool. Hear me out.
Go for it.
I think he should be killed by Sasuke.
Honestly, yeah, because I would feel bad for him, but it'd be very interesting, like, conflict-wise.
I think he should attack Sasuke because he knows, right, that they were only put into that Chunin exam to test Sasuke. His friends died because of Sasuke. His whole thing, the reason why he attacked Gaara, right, was so that he could be the one to fight Sasuke and prove himself to Orochimaru. He would have a huge grudge against not only Orochimaru, but Sasuke as well. Because Sasuke was like the chosen, the one that Orochimaru is throwing away all these other kids for. You know what I mean? He's using all these kids, and it was all for Sasuke's sake. It was all to get Sasuke. So he was really being used, but what Orochimaru really wanted was Sasuke. And he didn't care about these kids. So I think that Sasuke, he would have a huge grudge against Sasuke, now that I think about it. I definitely think, instead of, like, you know how Sasuke fought Deidara?
Yeah.
Much better rivalry would have been Sasuke and Akatsuki Dosu. I think that would have been insane.
Well, the thing is, like, Dosu could have been trying to talk with Sasuke and try and convince him that he was also being used, potentially, from what Sasuke could eventually tell him. It's like, yeah, because Sasuke did know about Orochimaru's plan to use his body. Like, he could discuss that with them. It's like, well, don't you see what you're doing? He might even be
mad. He might even be mad that Sasuke killed Orochimaru and kind of robbed him of that revenge. And maybe he set his sights on Sasuke as his new target. Or something like that.
I think that would work, though, because he would assume it's like he just took away the one thing that he wanted, essentially, which was to free everybody, and he can't do that anymore.
Because we know when Orochimaru found them as kids, they didn't really have anything. Orochimaru gave them a purpose. He gave them meaning to life, and after realizing that Orochimaru was just using him for Sasuke, he would have been totally crushed and broken. I definitely think there's a really good opportunity for a story there, to have Dosu be on this, like, revenge mission, this grudge mission against the Sound Village, against Sasuke, Orochimaru, whoever.
Well, you have a nice parallel revenge story to Sasuke's. At least with his story, you kind of can understand where he's coming from more than Sasuke, kind of.
Well, yeah. There is also, the Itachi did kill his whole family, so.
Well, I'm saying, like,
that.
For someone who actually knows through Shippuden what the motivations was, eventually. That's what I'm saying. Because you do learn why Itachi did it. At least you feel like with this version of, like, Dosu, it's like he's trying to do this to necessarily, like, free his village. He's not doing it because he's, like, not wanting to commit genocide, I guess. It's more, in fact, he just wants revenge on two people in particular.
Right.
And once one of them's gone, he's like, dang.
I do think that there's a lot of story potential there. I really think that would be cool.
But yeah, I guess I'll get to my other scenario real quick. So Making
Yeah.
Sakura Senju instead of Haruno. Let me tell you something. I could have gone way longer for whatever segment I would have had for the original video. So I'm gonna go here and explain.
Yeah, I don't have much else to add from then other than what I said, so I'm gonna just let you go off here.
So let me explain. You have motivation with Sakura's parents to try and convince her not to be with Sasuke. This would definitely develop her character more because she's trying to go deliberately against it by this point. But the thing is, Naruto himself is trying to be charming and whatnot. You can have one like filler episode where Naruto's invited over for like lunch or something, and Sakura's parents are like, maybe we should think about this for a second. Maybe this isn't as such a good idea. But at the same time, you'd also have tension between both those clans at the time, and it's like there are the remnants of it that happen to still be at the Leaf Village. And you could have, like, at the start, like, in the very beginning, while the Uchiha was a lot more prominent, they were more outcasted and left aside at the time. And everyone's like,
Right.
nobody really wants them to fight, but honestly, there's only 2 Senju people left, and there's a lot of Uchiha, and they honestly don't like them. And what you could have had is, like, have Sakura's dad more involved with Danzo and be like, hey, I don't like the Uchiha being here. And my wife's about to have a daughter or something. It's like, why don't we do something about that? And Danzo's like, yes, sir. And we're gonna. I know just the guy to get your problem solved. Then you have it. Achi just take out all the Uchiha. It's like, all right, job's done. And then you could have like Sakura's dad, be angry. It's like, wait a minute, why is this one guy still alive? It's like, you have Danzo be like, parents. Not my problem. He's your problem now. It's like, well, what are we supposed to do when our daughter's in love with this guy? And he could be like, I could try to take him out. And then you could have motivation for Sasuke not to want to stay at the Leaf even further. The fact that the Leaf's trying to kill him now deliberately by Danzo.
It definitely would bring up some interesting dynamics in relationships.
But I do think
she was a Senju.
Especially, there's so much that's brought up. I would say with also potential with Sakura having wood style. That's also something very useful. I think she could have.
True.
Like have some sort of combat ability.
And she could play a role similar to Yamato, where she's like suppressing Naruto if she needs to, instead of not doing anything and just getting hurt.
Yeah, I think it could have been cool. She had like a wood armor style where she just walks around like a wood suit. That could have been kind of cool.
Wood Susanoo.
That would have actually been cool to see though, like a wood Susanoo. It's like.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like Hashirama's, like, I forgot what it's called.
Well, it's more of like a smaller scale, obviously. It's not super huge. It's more of like a protective, like samurai-esque armor, I would say. So instead of being like on the outside-ish, like how his kind of worked, it'd be more like an internal thing that just spreads outwards.
Could be badass.
Honestly, it could. But I guess I'll let you go over your other scenario real quick, and we'll talk about that one more in depth.
So the last one was Shino joining the Foundation. Ah, man. So Danzo, he came to Shino when he was a kid, and he's like, yo, join the Foundation. And then Shino's cousin Torine was like, nah, don't make him do that. I'll do that instead. And that's what happened. But I think that could have been expanded upon, where it's like later on, Shino, after feeling like he doesn't really fit in with the Konoha 11, he might go to Danzo and be like, yo, does the offer still stand? And then there could be a whole thing with Shino, a whole arc with Shino, being very conflicted about the things that Danzo does and stuff like that. Like, I definitely think there's some story potential there. I'm not sure how much we can expand upon it, but I definitely think there's story potential there for Shino to be, even if he wasn't in the Foundation, even if he was just in the regular Anbu. I think there's something there.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything to add?
I think it could have been interesting. He just decides to join Dambu anyways, just to cause conflict with his. Because think about it, it's like he joins. It's like I told you not to. It's like I wanted to join anyways. Nobody really likes me, anyways. You know that. It's like, well, you're kind of right. Like nobody really likes the bug power people. You know, it's like
nobody likes bugs.
I mean, you don't want to be a teacher, right? This seems like a better gig, honestly. It's like, yeah, why do I want to teach kids? And that's what he actually did.
Definitely not impressed with the teacher choice they went with.
I think it would have been cool if he was like a librarian or something, and he attaches bugs to books so he knows if one gets stolen or not.
Oh my god.
It's like, you're trying to...
That's the best way to use his incredible combat prowess.
Well, he could be like, you're trying to steal like a forbidden scroll, weren't you? Like, that could have been a really good way to protect them, honestly. Because he would be aware immediately as soon as one's stolen.
Put bugs on everything.
I mean, I feel like it's better than being a teacher, though. Like, come on. At least he uses abilities or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Teacher is just not... doesn't do it for me in terms of Shino's character.
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, the librarian idea is far cooler in my idea, because he has something to do his powers with. He can enjoy reading books or whatever if he wants to. And, like, imagine him, like, using his bugs, like, okay, I want this book that's super high up that I don't want to reach. And they just bring it to him. It's like, thank you. He just reads the book.
God damn it.
But think about the potential. Like, you're saying it now. Like, it literally is there. Despite how dumb it is.
I see it, but I definitely think there's more potential in him being an Anbu member. Or something a little more badass.
Well, I guess we can talk about the other idea that I randomly brought up. I don't know if it made the final cut or not, but it's in the uncut version here. But the idea of him joining the Akatsuki, that's something I thought randomly.
Oh, no.
And like I said, in that one, I think the idea of him being abandoned for so long, he feels like he's just left out and not being used to his full potential. So he ends up deciding to leave.
They would really need to, like, sell it, though. You know what I mean? Like, there would really have to be something that's, like, that, like, pushes Shino over the edge. Because, like, from what they did, it was just very, like, gag heavy. Like, it was just, like a joke. Like, oh, you didn't invite me. But it wasn't, like, a...
Well, that's why he didn't go super in depth.
Serious?
I think to push him over that edge, I think if he was framed for something by the Foundation or something, that could have done it.
Something like that, yeah. It would have needed to be something heavy and serious for him to leave the Leaf Village. I think it's doable, definitely. It's just the story something would need to be changed for sure. Maybe he joins the Foundation. Danzo frames him for something, and he's forced to leave the Leaf Village because he's now a rogue shinobi, and then he joins like the Akatsuki as like a refuge, like somewhere that he can be and be safe and be protected by the Akatsuki.
Well, if we think about Torun for a second, there's a chance that Danzo sends him out onto a mission, but he botches it so badly that he has to pin it on someone. And obviously,
and he pins it on Shino.
And obviously he would be like, I don't want you to do this. And it says, it's for the greater the leaf. You understand. It's like, all right. It's like, because that's how the Anbu work, unfortunately. They didn't really
Shino could become like an Itachi type in the Akatsuki, where he's like, becomes a spy for the Leaf Village.
I think that would...
But he's in the Akatsuki.
Yeah, I brought up the idea, like, he could have been, like, a spy-type character.
Oh, definitely. His abilities they've got spy written all over it. That's why I think, obviously, Foundation or even regular Anbu.
Or there's a potential that the Akatsuki could propose them. It's like, we'll get, like, Torun out of the Anbu, but in exchange, we want you to give us information.
feel like Shino would be like, hell no, dude.
But I think what you could do is have someone like Itachi explain what he did, and that would make him question the Anbu heavily. And he'd be like, you know what? Maybe Leaf isn't as great.
Imagine Shino and Itachi becoming like friends. Like Shino and Itachi are like characters that interact often. It's hard to picture, but I think it would be really cool.
Well, the idea is he brings up the idea. It's like people in Anbu aren't the greatest of people, and obviously you want him out, right? It's like, this will help you get him out. Just give us information. We'll take out Danzo, we'll take out the rest of them, and he'll be yours. That's all that matters. You don't have to say any other thing. And
Itachi did hate Danzo. That's for sure.
I feel like he would do that during like the Pain Assault or something. Like, just have that as his side plot.
Assassinate Danzo.
I mean, it could have been a potential thing, but anyways, that's for other ideas for what ifs and stuff. So, Teebry or Teebry, El Tigre, I don't know where we're going with this.
What's up, El Tigre here?
Back here again with another what if scenario. Oh no. Anyways, would you like to plug your channel and whatnot for people that are listening to this?
Yeah. Like I said, I make mostly Boruto and Naruto videos, but I also cover some other anime and manga occasionally. I don't do what ifs, so if you're over here watching what ifs, don't come into my channel expecting what ifs, because you're gonna be sadly disappointed.
Nah, don't worry. I will bring him over here to do stuff, so if you want to see him do a what if, he'll do it over here at someone else's channel.
Exactly. But yeah, I do chapter reviews, episode reviews, other analysis type videos, character analysis, all sorts of stuff like that.
Which I don't do, so go check him out if you actually want reviews and analysis stuff, because honestly, I don't have time to read all these chapters and actually give depth takes on, because I just don't have the time. Doesn't mean I don't have opinions, but honestly, I just don't have the real time to do that, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Anyways, I'm gonna end this off, so if you want us to do stuff like this in the future, maybe when I catch up to Boruto, maybe we'll do a continuation or something. But anyways, it's been Drew from What If Universe, and always remind you, in a What If Universe, there are endless possibilities, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hello everyone, Uncle Joker here. Make sure to subscribe to the Society if you want to see more content, and use those opposable thumbs of yours to rate the video. If you want to be notified whenever I make a joke, hit that bell, because, you know, YouTube isn't enough of a joke as it is. Until next time, toodaloo!